If you're loving this podcast, be sure to check out the full lineup. From news and local politics to sports and true crime. Find your next great listen right now at duluthnewstribune.com/podcasts. That's duluthnewstribune.com/podcasts.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Thursday, May 25th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. At-large Duluth City Councilor Eric Forsman has reversed course, announcing that instead of stepping down at the end of the year, he will instead run for re-election. After consulting with his family, Forsman decided to give it another go, joining what's likely to be a 7-candidate field for 2 at-large seats. Forsman earlier had cited his desire to spend time with his family, including his wife, 7-year-old daughter, and 5-year-old son, as a primary reason for his decision not to seek a second term. Forsman believes his experience and proven track record also worked to his advantage. In all, 6 seats are up for election on the 9-member city council, and prior to Forsman's surprise announcement Monday, 4 of the incumbents were prepared to leave office at the end of the year. Forsman noted that if re-elected, he will be the most senior member of the council. He was appointed to the seat in 2018, when Elisa Hansen left the council to take a new job as president and CEO of Northland Group Incorporated. In 2019, he ran for the same post and won election. He went on to be elected council president by his fellow councilors as well. Among his accomplishments, Forsman cited public safety strides, including his successful advocacy for increased police pay and a larger training budget for local firefighters. Forsman also pointed to his role in bringing Costco to town and making sure the city's Memorial Day parade tradition held strong, despite some friction over costs and funding that had threatened the event's continuation. Candidate filings for local elected offices will remain open until Tuesday. Over the past decade, the Rambler helped blaze the way for food trucks across the Twin Ports area. It arrived in the area at a time when food trucks were sparse. Now, its 11th season has kicked off April 25th, followed by Bent Paddle's Festiversary last weekend. With one of their largest annual events under their belts, staff say it's smooth sailing through the end of the season in early November. Both Mid-Coast Catering and the Rambler are owned by Jonathan Resnick, who created the menu inspired by nostalgic fare, elevated with a twist. Each week, the familiar green truck parks at locations around Duluth. Several private events, like graduation parties or weddings, are also on the books. Some are scheduled years ahead of time. The Rambler also provides versatile event catering services, from full-service plated dinners to buffet-style arrangements to boxed lunches. Within the next year, the Rambler plans to develop a small year-round event center and office next to their commercial kitchen, located at 313 North Central Avenue, next to the West Theater and across from Zenith Bookstore. It will have the capacity for 50 people. Dan Williamson now joins with a special guest.
Thanks, Wyatt. I'm joined by one of our colleagues, speaking with Melinda Levine, Duluth News Tribune features reporter. We're speaking over Zoom. And Melinda, there's some buzz about your Saturday feature article, which we'll be able to read in print, as well as online prior at duluthnewstribune.com. This is about a farm in Two Harbors that has small fruit, veggies, trees, and yes, bees. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, so last week, Clint Austin and I got to hang out with Jadel Cavalin at Little Waldo Farm in Two Harbors. And, they have about 10 acres out there, a greenhouse, and like so many fruits and trees and veggies. But like what captured my heart was spending time with her honeybees and like learning all about them. And Jadel, she teaches some beekeeping classes through community education and the Lake Superior Sustainable Farming Association. And so just being able to like pick her brain and hear all about these fascinating insects was so thrilling to me.
Melinda, what was your biggest takeaway from this?
My biggest takeaway was hanging out with the bees. It was personally so thrilling to hear about how they work within the hive, how they take care of each other, how they take care of the queen, how they will coax her to lay a new queen if like the colony doesn't think she's doing a good job. Just hearing about these fascinating insects was so thrilling to me. And I think a big takeaway is just like, hey, I want to take a beekeeping class and like learn more and potentially like a new hobby for me, maybe down the road.
So someday we could have Melinda the beekeeper.
Oh my God, that'd be so exciting.
For our audience, what do you hope they take away from this story?
I hope our audience just takes away like, hey, here's like another farmer in our area and she's really knowledgeable and really cool. You know, like one of the things she said, Jadelle said is, you know, she got into beekeeping to help our pollinators and help our bees. And like she understood after doing it for a while that, you know, actually honey beekeeping can create competition for our native bees. But at that point, she like had already fallen in love with the practice. So she really like makes it a point to have like build up pollinators in her operation and also to sell them and help educate people about pollinator plants. So I hope our readers can take away, here's like another cool local advocate for agriculture and community.
Very cool. Melinda, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Dan.
And again, you can find Melinda's article in Saturday's print edition of the Duluth News Tribune, and you can also find it online prior at duluthnewstribune.com. Wyatt, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought by Superior Telegram's history podcast, Archive Dive.
Weather for the Duluth area today, looking at a warmer day with sunshine and still breezy conditions. High temperatures back up into the upper 50s. Mostly clear tonight, and then a huge improvement for Friday. Plenty of sunshine, lighter winds, and temperatures back into the low 70s. Looking at the mid-70s continuing into the weekend. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Robert Pointer.
Thank you to Archive Dive for their support. The monthly history podcast, hosted by Superior Telegram reporter Maria Lockwood, dips into the archives of historic events, people, and places around Superior and Douglas County. You can find the latest episode of Archive Dive at superiortelegram.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Peter Passy, Brielle Bredston, and Melinda Levine. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.